So this is very important. I went to Japan for the very first time last year. And when I was there, I got introduced to the top transformational leader of Japan. He's going to be actually speaking at Your Hidden Riches. He's amazing. His name is Ken Honda. And he's written something like over 80 books. I mean, the guy is just like a book machine, you know. And, one this week, one next week. And they're all great, and they're all bestsellers in Japan. I mean, he is pretty darn awake, and that's why he can do what he does. But anyway, we're having dinner, and Ken starts telling me about this man named Wahei Takeda. Wahei Takeda, he said, was the Warren Buffett, or is the Warren Buffett of Japan. And he said, Wahei is my mentor. And he's just absolutely the most amazing man on the planet. He started telling me stories about Wahei. And he said, Wahei has a candy company in Japan. It's the #1 candy company in Japan. And in the factory of his candy company, all of the workers, as they're making the candy, by the way, the candy's called arigato candy, which means thank you, gratitude. They're all listening to children singing, arigato, arigato, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then he went on to tell, I said, oh my God, what? You know, and I said, tell me some more about this guy. And he said, well, one time there was this man who came to Wahei, and he said, Wahei, you have so much money, give me some money. You have so much money, I have no money, and I need money, give me money. And Wahei said, well, I won't give you money, but I'll buy 2 months of thank yous. And he said, huh? And he says, yeah, for 2 months, I want you to look at everything you possibly can look at, everything, notice everything you do, and just start being thankful for that. Thank you for my clothes, thank you for my breath, thank you for my legs that carry me, thank you for the roof that's over my head, thank you for my bed that I sleep in, thank you, thank you, thank you. And the man said, okay, I'll buy 2 months worth of thank you, and left. 2 months later, he comes back. He says, Wahei, give me more money. You have so much money. I need more money. I still need more money. Well, I said, I won't give you any money. But what I will do is I will buy 2 months worth of thank yous. And the man said, okay, okay, fine. And he leaves, and he comes back 2 months later. Guess what he said? Who knows?
I need money.
Nope. Trick question. He said, Wahei, I don't need any more money. He said, something happened, and all of a sudden, I know what I'm going to do. I've started doing it, and it's a different world. And so when Ken's telling me this story about this man, he said, the other thing he said, he has this beautiful compound where he has his offices in this city called Nagoya. And he says Wahei doesn't have any guards at his compound, although he has all kinds of wealth there. And I said, well, why doesn't he have any guards? And he said, and he has no gates and he has no locks. And I said, well, why is that? And he said, because Wahei said, when you have guards, when you have locks, when you have gates, that's when you get broken into, and that's when it all starts to happen. And that's when I said, okay, I've got to meet this guy. And I said, Ken, I got to meet this guy. And he goes, well, when you come back next time, because I was going to come back some months later. And I said, no, come on, Ken, man. I want to meet this guy named Wahei. How many of you would like to meet Wahei after just hearing those little things, right? He's 82 years old. I said, no, come on. I really want to meet this guy. And Ken said, no, not this trip. But Ken happened to mention that Wahei's publisher, Wahei Writes Books, was my publisher, same publisher as my publisher. And it just so happened that the very next day I was having a meeting with my publisher in Japan. So I walked into my publisher, and I walked in just true Janet Attwood style. I walk in, I see Ted, who owns the company, and I said, Ted-o-san, I need to meet Wahei. And Ted goes, you need to meet Wahei? I said, I've got to meet Wahei. He goes, 1 minute, turns around, walks in his office, comes back 5 minutes later. He goes, tomorrow at 1:30. Yes! Yes, right? When you are clear, what is it? When you are clear, what you choose to have show up in your life will, right? Now, was I clear about meeting Wahe? Oh, yeah. Sorry, Ken. Anyway, I go and I meet Wahe. And what a privilege to meet Wahe Takeda, because he's 82 and he looks like he's 60. And he has an eternal smile on his face. I mean, he is happy. And I'm interviewing him and I said, Wahe, why are you so happy? He said, well, one thing, I cured myself of 2 diseases by just being thankful. He says, I call it marrow up. I said, marrow up? He said, marrow up. He said, marrow up is all about, one of the ways of marrowing up, bringing your energy up, is to live in gratitude, be thankful. Just constantly keep your attention on, what am I thankful for? What am I thankful for? What am I thankful for? Marrow up is going out into nature and being in nature and bowing to nature. Thank you so much for you being so pristine and perfect. Thank you for the gifts you give. He said, marrow up is about, really doing your work in a way that is in excellence. Really just being of service and just the highest possible way that you can be of service, and always keeping your attention on that. Marrowing up is noticing your thinking and having that thinking where every moment is a gift, always, 24/7. And I love Wahe Takeda. Wahe Takeda now has become a very good friend of mine. And as a matter of fact, we email each other every once in a while. And one of the last emails that he wrote, I have to write him, I haven't written him for a couple of months, was, you are my bosom buddy. It was so cute. I am your bosom buddy, Wahe. And so I am happy to say I am an international ambassador of Marrow Up. Who wants to marrow up with me, huh? M-A-R-O, up, right? And what are we doing? We're bringing our energy up. What happens when we're holding our limiting beliefs? Notice, just when I had you writing down what was your limiting belief, if my energy feelers in the room, did you notice that the energy went, right? Because when you put your attention on what's not working, you can actually feel the energy change. What happens when you meet someone that is constantly living in a place of gratitude? Having an attitude of gratitude. I mean, it's contagious, isn't it? Yeah. What happens when you're with a person that's, just always bowing to that which has been given? It reminds you to always bow to that which has been given, because we're always being gifted. You can walk into a room and you can find all the things wrong. I tell you, I know many of us have been experts at that. How many would agree? I can find everything wrong. Everything. This should be like this, and then that's what you get, and that's how you spend your time. And what happens when you do that? You're in a contracted place. And when you're like this, as Chris was sharing, can you see any good? Is there any possible way to see good? So another great technique to be able to raise your energy up. The simplest, easiest way, one of the simplest, easiest ways that I've seen in activity, and I'm going to tell you, I'm practicing this all the time. One of my rituals now is when I'm in the shower. Instead of just taking a shower, I am in the shower and I'm thankful for, I was doing this today, I'm thankful for Chris. I'm so thankful to James. I'm so thankful to Sabrina. I'm so thankful to Liza. And I was thanking all of the assists and Luann and Diane and Kathy, and I'm so thankful for all the people that have walked into this house. I'm so thankful for the water that's on my head, and I'm so thankful that I'm alive and I can be thankful. And it's and when I find myself contracted, then a way out of contraction, if you don't want to go, notice, breathe, ask to be open, feel the pain, do that whole process. That's one way. What we're giving you in these days are all these different tools to handle, when life isn't working according to your story. And this is another beautiful, beautiful tool, and it's such a simple one. You can shift on a dime. You can shift in a moment's time and go from that place. You know, you might be mad at someone, and you could just shift with them and say, okay, all right. And if the person is conscious and they're aware that no one can do anything to them, you could actually say, okay, Marina, you know, we could be right in the middle of it. I said, okay, Marina, let's stop. Let's share what we're thankful for about each other. And the minute you start, you can't hold it. You know, oh, you know, I mean, it's so sweet. So another wonderful, wonderful process that you guys can do that I find is one of the easiest and absolutely enjoyable, you know, to do. And it's so simple, isn't it? Because notice when you go contracted, it's really hard to remember what to do. Anyone, because for one, we have these neural pathways that are so indented that what do we want to do? We want to hang on to our victimization, don't we? So we need something fast, right? This is a real fast one when we get into a little bit of a jam.
I just want to underline that this is the category, remember number 6 in those steps? Use the tools. And the reason I say this is because it's really important when you are feeling very contracted to allow yourself to feel what you're feeling before you express your gratitude, before you realize that this is a gift, before you do those things. Because this is, and I speak from personal experience, because I'm a pretty spiritual guy, you know? And so what I found myself doing is I would get upset and I'd be telling myself, well, this is a gift. It'll all turn out. It'll be fine. You know, it'll work out. And what I realized I was doing is stuffing the emotions. I was not allowing those feelings, that upset, that yuckiness, that anger, whatever it was, to be released. And by doing that, it just stays inside, you know, and then it'll pop up some other time, disease or, you know, sickness or this or that, right? So I just wanted to...
Yeah, and you can acknowledge it, and it can be it can take as much as a half a minute. Just to, you know, to be present, be real. Boy, this sure does piss me off. I feel like this. This is how I, you know, this, oh, you know, go into the pain, right? And then you can flip and go right into the other. And once you start practicing all of these different tools that we're sharing, it doesn't have to take but a second to go from one place to the other. Not more than a second. I mean, it's pretty magical. So, Diane, preparation steps, page 55, lesson number 18, for those of you that are watching the video, counting your gifts. Diane, if you will please read preparation steps. And please be loud for Diane.
Creating the life you choose to live begins with seeing the blessings you have already received, appreciating them and celebrating them. For this exercise, make 2 lists using the space below. If you need more room, use the other side of the page. First, list all the wonderful things that felt really good this past year.
And then go down to the next part. So that'll be your first part. You're going to list, you know, all of the wonderful things that have really, you know, wow, that was a gift, that was a gift, that was a gift. All right, and go to the second part.
Now list the challenges, obstacles, hardships you experienced this past year. For each one, describe how this was a gift for you. What did you learn from it? How did it contribute to your life?
Right, so you would turn the page over, and it says the challenge, and then on the other side, the gift.